Yo, my people, what you saying? What you saying, man? Hope all is well. Loving the journey, loving the energy, been loving the comments as well, been getting a few messages. And as you can see, I'm really trying to get into the momentum of putting out these weekly videos. If I could do like about 2 videos a week, I think that would be good. Someone was talking to me about creating more content, and they were explaining that um the more videos you put up, the more it impacts the algorithm. And then what that does, especially with the likes and the comments, so please subscribe, like and comment, because all of that impacts the algorithm. And with that shift in the algorithm, it gives access to more people watching these videos. And I know that no one's got videos like this on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of people sharing information. There's a lot of journalists out there just deep diving into whatever it is that they want to investigate, and then they're sharing it, they're giving their reactions. What I'm doing, I'm just sharing my truth, I'm sharing my experiences directly, and also the work that we're doing outside in the community. So yeah, and that's why again I don't have a lot of opportunity to do these videos, because I'm always out there in the field, in schools, in prisons, in the communities, on my phone, speaking and uplifting, especially like the young people. The young people I love so much. I was reasoning with one of the yo guys, I forgot to even introduce myself and to give thanks to everyone for being here. My name's Brother Davis J. Williams. I'm an author, I'm a content creator, I'm a games developer. And let me show you one of my games actually. One second. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Boom. We've got these two babies here, as you can see. Yeah? Ask Me. It is the interactive card game. Yeah? Interactive card game that creates space for deep and meaningful conversations with the people that you love. So we've got the family edition here, and we've got the sex and intimacy 18+ edition. In fact, I'm going to talk about these another day, because there's so much to say about these cards. There's so much. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to explore this another time with you guys. But I just thought I'll share that with you. If you want to know more about the contents in there, yes, there's 100+. There's 100+ cards in here. Plus there's some QR codes that you can scan in there. So it's not just questions, there's prompts that's in there as well. There's suggestions and so on and so forth. So it's not just you asking the person questions and that's it. No, it's got more, it's more dynamic than that, and it's more diverse than your normal card game. But this one right here, wow, this is the first one that I created. This is the family edition. So it's good for you to play with your siblings, with your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad. Parents can play this amongst themselves, husband and wife. So you can even do this as a group. Yeah, so it's good if you're want to create closer bonds with your family, and all the questions are specific for families. Yeah, this one is designed if you've got a date, first time date, you're meeting someone, bring this. If you're in a relationship and things are a little bit stale for one reason or another, or you want to create a new a new reality, a new possibility with you and the person that you're interested in, or your husband, or whatever the case is, this right here, this is gold dust. I'm not lying. The questions, it took me ages to carve out the questions, to test the questions. But yeah, I'm urging you guys, check it out. Yeah, that's the least you can do. Anyway, this video, some of you already know, I've been working with young people for years, at least 25 years, right? And throughout that period, I kid you not, I've not had no break. I've had holidays and all of that stuff, but what I've not had a career break. Some people, like, they start, they stop, they disappear. I've been constant. Every single week. I bet my bottom dollar I'm doing something out there in the community with young people, inspiring them, uplifting them, having conversations, holding space. It's something that I love doing. I'm passionate about it. And it also helps me as an individual. Like, children, young people, they're my best teachers. Yeah, they are my best teachers. This the conversations that we have, the questions that they ask, and how they leave me feeling like deep and contemplative. I'm like, wow. A few weeks ago, I mentioned when Umar Johnson came to one of the sessions that I hosted. I think this was back in 2013, no, 13, 14, 15, around that period there. Yeah, Umar Johnson came down, and yeah, I'm going to talk about that separately. You know, that's another, I've got bare videos, I've got so much content, so much memories that I want to share with you guys. But this memory in particular, right? It is my most embarrassing moment ever as a youth worker, as an activist, as a community vanguard. Like, it is my, oh my gosh, I just wanted the world, I just wanted the earth to open up and just swallow me, literally. Like, there was nowhere to hide. It was so embarrassing. And I bumped into one of my old mentees recently, and we was having a good little catch up, and it reminded me of this as well. And I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna share exactly what happened. You know, I'm gonna share. But before I do though, it's so important that while I'm here as well, I give you guys a little bit of insight into some of the content that I've created, some of the books that I have. So this book here, one of my favorites, 22 plus 1 Laws of Manhood. And as you can see, this person here is carving, right? He's carving, he's a sculpture, and he's getting rid of the things that he doesn't want so the better version can be presented to the world. And this is what this book is all about. Yeah, it's all about getting rid of certain things that's not serving our young people, especially, just so the better version of themselves can yeah, can step forward and can create the impact that we want to see. So this book, I love it. You know, 22 plus 1, and I think every young person, they need to have their values. They need to know. They need to have their principles, what they're standing on, and this is where this book comes in handy. You know, for instance, law number 5: a man must practice discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. And it's a very short book, right? But it gives the young person a quote that corresponds to their particular law. It's got some reflective questions. How often do you let distractions take you away from your goals? It's got a challenge. It's got why this law is important. And then it's got an affirmation as well. I control my actions, my habits, and my mindset. Discipline leads me to success. So, and it's got here at the top here, like how to activate this particular law. Because one thing that I realized with the young people, right, is they don't, a lot of them, not every young person, come on, guys, let's not be pedantic. Yeah, but a lot of young people, the majority of young people that I work with, they don't have a they do to a degree, but what they don't have, yeah, they don't have strong beliefs, they don't have strong principles that they can articulate. And one of the things that I help them do, I help them um generate, to articulate these principles that they're standing on. um it's not good enough when you're asking them, why did you do it? I don't know. No, you need to know these things, because if you don't know, someone's going to create the narrative. So, and especially for the young boys who I work with, and they've got a lot of anger, a lot of trauma, inner child healing. They need to do the shadow work. When I ask them certain things, right, they get angry because they find it hard to um, articulate and express themselves. So I help them find the words. And books like these help tremendously. Also, this book is beautiful. Why? Because it talks about, you know, it's got like the different types of manhood. We talk about the different types of men that exist. Not all men are the same. Not all men. Just like at the background, you can see like there's different superheroes. You've got Thor. You've got Spider-Man. Wherever Spider-Man is over there in the corner. You've got Hulk. You've got Iron Man. All of them are superheroes, but they're different types of superheroes. They've got different temperaments. And just like with manhood, not every man, we're not all the same. So when someone says, you're not a man, men don't do that, that's rubbish. Yeah, men do that. But it's a particular type of man you're talking about. Yeah, so having those kind of deep and meaningful, critical thinking type of conversations will help people say what they mean and mean what they say. But I'm not going to ramble on too much. But like I said, I've got about 10 books out on Amazon. Check them out. But the book that I want to talk about today, right? before I talk about this book, right? So I want to set the scene. Back in the day, I used to, before Manhood Academy, before we started doing, before I started doing rites of passage, taking young people away to the Gambia, into the bush, introducing them into manhood and all of that deep and meaningful stuff. Before all of that, I had another space, right? Another space, another program that I used to run. And that prepared me for what I'm doing now. That space was called Undiluted Expressionz. And how it worked, right? Undiluted Expressionz, and I remember exactly how it started. Yeah, I was a drugs worker. I was working for a particular charity. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not giving them no promo. You get me? None. But I was working for this charity in Northwest London. This was in Housden, Northwest London. So big up, big up, big up, Housden, Stonebridge, Willesden. You guys looked after me, man. Wembley, you guys looked after me. I've been in Northwest for about 10 years, putting in work. People actually thought I was from Northwest. The amount of hours I put into that borough. Uh, yeah, mad memories, man, mad memories. And this particular story was birthed out of Housden. So I was working as a drugs worker, and I used to go into schools and I used to give young people awareness around cannabis, alcohol, why they shouldn't take it, and so on and so forth. So it was just a job for me. I was still developing within my craft as a person, yeah. And I remember sitting down with a young person, a young mentor in a school, and me and him, it's his reasoning. And he just loved the conversation just because I was mad witty, mad smart, a little bit nerdy, talking about comics and stuff and chakras. And yeah, he just found me mad interesting. You know, don't eat meat. So I'm there eating celery and eating fruits in the sessions. And he looked at me like, wow, you're some strange dude, yeah. You know what I mean? But I am kind of strange, you know, but that's, yeah, don't watch that. And yeah, it was there reasoning. And every week I would schedule in an hour and a half session with him. And what started to happen is he used to bring his friends to this session. He's like, yo, come and listen to what Big Man's saying, man. He's mad. He's got some mad views. And I would sit there now just talking about Illuminati, you know, third eye, media propaganda, melanin, um, you know, how to become successful, how to flip money, like all the topics that they would hear on social media, whatever. I would present them, but I would give them, because I love reading as well. I'll give them the origins of the things that they will be talking about, and yeah, plug some of the gaps that they had in their learning and their understanding. Because sometimes they'll watch something on YouTube and then that's it for them, that's all they will take from it. But sometimes you have to go a little deeper, yeah, just to find out exactly where it came from. Everything's got its origin story. So yeah, we started reasoning. Before you know it, where it started off with one young person, then two young person, became five young people, then it became 10, and then before you know it, I created a little group. Yeah, I created. It didn't have a name. It was just a group of young boys in this particular school, and it was their reasoning. Then I started to bring up my chess. I don't have my chessboard here. I started bringing up my chessboard, teaching them chess, and then yeah, it was a beautiful space. I never had a particular topic per se, so it wasn't like, okay, guys, today's topic is self awareness. No, it was just like, yo, fam, let's just reason, let's just talk, and it was a nice space for me just to this kick back and yeah, just talk and connect with these young bucks. Yeah. And then that grew. Yeah, it grew to the point over a period of like 2 years. I was doing that for about 10 years. In the second year, we decided let's give this a name. They came up with the name Undiluted Expressionz. Yeah, Undiluted Expressionz, or UE for short. And I'm telling you, that space there, it attracted so many people, from Lee Jasper to Dawn Butler to Akala to Chris Preddy to George the Poet to Miss Dynamite to Jasmine Dotawala to Noel Clark. Like, yeah, so many people came through that space to sit with the young boys and the young girls, because it evolved to the point where it wasn't just the young boys now, it was young girls, because we had to take it outside of the school. um, at this venue, like I said, I was working for this charity and I had keys for the building. So what I used to do, after work, we used to have the sessions after work. So when everyone left, we would invite them down for 6 o'clock, and then we'll be leaving like sometimes 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock, sometimes 12 o'clock. Like that footage that I released with Umar Johnson there, that was about 11 o'clock at night. You'll see my little son, Makai, in the background is running around. 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes 1 o'clock, I'm leaving that damn place just because it was having some powerful discussions. And imagine, yeah, like we used to, the room, normal square room, the chairs were in a circle, so everyone was sitting in a circle. I got a big up Viv Amon for that lesson. I was a part of his raw program back in the day, and that's where he taught us like how to really encourage young people to embrace their truth and to speak their truth. So we will sit in a circle. There'll be one chair in the middle. The young person will sit in the middle, and you ask them like, "What's your truth?" And you'll coach them into deep diving into themselves. But anyway, undiluted expressions, and this is what we did at that space. Everyone sat in a circle, sometimes about 15 young people, sometimes 20, sometimes 25. And the young people that used to come to the space didn't do no, like they don't, some of them didn't go to school. Some of them were known in the area for doing like madness, but they used to come to the space. Why? Because us, like the elders, held space for them. We held space. We didn't judge them. There was a little bit of snacks there, but the conversations that we were having were real. It was real talk. I mean, like real talk. There was tears, there was anger, but the most important thing that I would say that we championed was healing yourself. You must heal yourself. You must do the work on yourself. You must regenerate that inner child magic so better things can happen in your world. And the young people, the young adults used to come. So it morphed from it being young people to it being intergenerational. So people like Nia Mara used to come often, you know, and so many people used to come. So you got old people and young people in that space, boys and girls, reasoning deep, deep, deep. And we did that for 10 years. Yeah, 10 years strong, we did that. And then from there, I kind of closed that down and I started doing Manhood Academy. But anyway, in one of these sessions, we're always talking about the law. Yeah, because the young people, imagine it's late. Sometimes 7 o'clock they're coming to the session. Even though we start at 6, some of them will roll up. Why are you late, fam? Oh, the police, man, the police. So the police always got a mention. Not every week, but because some of these young people were, you know, they were doing certain things in the community that attracted police attention. So we're always talking about how to handle the police, how to communicate with the police. And then that kind of gravitated towards us teaching them about their law and their rights. And we championed their rights, and we went in, we gave them little rights cards, and they got so animated and so powerful when we said, Davis, can you imagine? Like, I said to a police officer, are you under oath? And he looked at me like he didn't know what to say. Like that piece of knowledge that they received, you could see they were so happy, they were gassed, they felt empowered. And I'm happy to say most of them didn't abuse it, but they utilized it and it gave them the confidence. And I shared this book with them. Yeah, this is, I'm going to talk about the most embarrassing moment ever, guys. Like, nah, it was mad embarrassing. Is this book here. Yeah, freedom is more than a 7-letter word. Magna Carta, 1215, Veronica of the Chapman family. I would recommend you get this book. Yeah, I would definitely recommend you get this book, because all of us have been deceived into following certain laws, you know, certain legislations that are just that, legislations. They're optional. They need my consent for me to participate in. They're not law. Law and legal is two different things. And this book goes in, and it breaks that down to the point where some of the older young boys who are driving and the young girls, you know, like they get parking tickets, we show them how to write a rebuttal to that parking ticket. Some of them had like TV license. We'll show them how to correspond with those. Like, it was just a powerful space where we taught them about power and who's got authority. Who's got authority over you? Oh, the police. No, not really. The police in this country, they operate on consent. So yes, they've got an element of power because they exert their power, but legally in this country, the UK, the police by consent. They need your consent. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. Yeah. But anyway, this book. So I'm there reading this book now, and I'm there sharing some of the bits and pieces with their young people, the young boys, the young girls, the elders within the space, and we're there reasoning and reasoning and reasoning. And imagine, and sometimes what we'll do, right? We'll remember, like, everyone's sitting in a circle and everyone's there contributing and sharing and breaking things down, challenging people, putting the chair in the center and helping people to feel that fire of the truth in their belly dying to come out. Let me just do a time check. Sometimes we'll put blindfolds on them because, you know, sometimes when you really want to say something, you're looking around to see who's going to judge you, and that feeling alone can make you anxious and not share what you want to share. So this, the blindfold will just hone in your senses, like they don't exist no more. It's just you and yourself in that room. Sometimes we'll close the lights off or turn the lights off, but the space was just so conversational. I can't credit that space enough. And this got a massive, especially with the young boys who just, yeah, they just love the content. And I said to them, do you know what, family? You know what? Like, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm going to invite this person down, like Veronica. I'm going to invite her down to the space just so we can have a reason. And the space was known for in welcoming people to the room, like the Umar Johnsons and the Dawn Butlers, and having healthy discussions. It was not a space. It was not a space for debating. Absolutely not. Yeah, it was a space for expressions. And I think I've got a. Oh, I don't. I think I had a flyer somewhere, but it was actually coined London's definitive space for youth, verbal reasoning, and truth, or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was aimed at the youth, even though we had like the older generation there. It was all about verbal reasoning, and it was all about yeah, expressions. You understand? So I went on the internet, I tracked down the person, Veronica, got the email address, and I told them, oh, Veronica, like, I'm so blessed to be speaking to you, man. Like, I'm so grateful for the book that you've written. Like, freedom is more than a 7-letter word. I've been sharing some of the contents, I've been doing presentations, and that's what big up Andrew Muhammad as well, because there's nothing better than creating powerful multimedia based presentations, because not everyone has got their attention span to sit there and listen. Some want to watch things, some want to read. So with the aid of presentations, I was able to create presentations of this particular book and little workshops. So it became a real learning experience. And I shared all of this with Veronica, and Veronica via the email said, yeah, man, no problem. I've been more than happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. I thought I was going to meet a superstar. I was so gassed. Yeah. So created a little flyer, put it on social media, just to make sure when Veronica comes into the space, yeah, she feels the welcome, she feels the love, she feels the belonging. And that's what we did. And yeah, the day came now. The day came. People were buzzing. Some people came, some even strangers come, even like some people that's on Facebook now that I'm still like, connecting with. They came as well because they've read the book. So a lot of people are into this free man on the land, knowing your law. You know, what's that thing called again? Yeah, knowing, yeah, legislation, what the different legislations are, and so on and so forth. So boom, the day came now, and I'm like, oh, okay, do you know what I mean? We had food there and everything. There was about at least like 35 people in a small room. All the chairs were next to each other. And and another thing that we did as well, I forgot to mention, we was in a beautiful documentary called Looking for Love, um uh, directed by Menelik Shabazz. Rise up, Menelik Shabazz, rest in peace, my dear brother, man. Like, I love what you did as well. Like, you came down to our space and you filmed our young people, boys and girls, talking about love and relationships. These are some of the things that we spoke with the young people about, and it was so deep listening to their views, like who's teaching them about love, relationships, the disparity between males and females, like what's going on there, all of that stuff. And we actually got a feature in the cinema, because for those that don't know, I can't remember the name. I think it was Looking for Love. Went to the cinema, and it was so beautiful to see us, the young people, in the cinema, on the screen, sharing their truth. Like, big moves, man, big moves. But yeah, so the day came now for Veronica, you know. So I drove up to like Dollis Hill train station. It was about 7 o'clock, whatever. And I was like, yeah, man. I brought one of the young people with me as well, one of the young girls. And like was like, yeah, man, Davis, I can't wait to meet Veronica, man. Like, I got the book on Amazon the other day. I'm reading it. Like, was there talking about it. It was like a little book club, you know. Uh wasn't a book club, but it was like a book club. And then boom, got out the car now, went to Dollis Hill train station, just waiting for Veronica. And I'm there waiting and waiting and waiting. And you know, I looked around and I see a person in like a long jacket with a hood on. And I was saying to myself, it's only me and this person that's there, but the person is facing that way. So I thought, that must be Veronica. But my spider sense was tingling a little bit because I was saying to myself, but why would you like not make yourself visible? Because you know that I'm coming to get you. I just spoke to you on the phone, text message, and I said I'm on my way because you said that you're at Dollis Hill. Do you know what I mean? So I said, oh, Veronica. Veronica turned around, right? And Veronica was John. Like Veronica had a long blonde wig, high heels, like size 12 feet, big hands, Adam Apple. It's like, oh, Davis, with a deep voice. And I was like, what the F? I said, Veronica. I said, yeah, I'm Veronica. He shook my hand, like squeezed my hand. I got a small hand, you know, like squeezed my hand. And I was like, in my head, oh my gosh, Veronica was a man, is a man, dressed as a woman. Fam, what do you think I did next? Yeah. Because I had people there waiting. I was just like, what the hell? I didn't know what to do. And things are not how they are now. You know, like a lot of things are like toxic. So there's always like videos on social media about trans and um, you know, pronouns and everything else, and it gets really, really out of hand. Back then, even though a lot of people, it was just like, who cares? It wasn't that deep. It wasn't that political back then. Not from what I remember, because I felt comfortable enough saying, yeah, jump in the car. And I brought him to the session. I was comfortable. I wouldn't do that now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's because politically it's just a mess. But I felt no way. I'm like, yo, like you wrote this book. Let's hear what you have to say. Um, I'm already like, you know, I'm already feeling embarrassed because not because you are John, but because I didn't know, you didn't tell me. It's important. Like we're working with young people. I made it very clear in the email. The young people that I'm working with, I sent you like little highlight reels of on that's on YouTube that I can't even find now because I weren't taking YouTube serious. Of some of the videos of the young people, um, videos, some newspaper articles. This give you a context. I set the scene for you, Veronica. Yeah, I set the scene for you, Victor, Veronica. I told you what the space was about. I said we got mostly like young black boys and young black girls. We sit in a circle. It's very cultural. However, what you're saying is it surpasses culture. It's about God's law. It's about common law and this and that, la 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 la. And you said you understood and you said that you was excited. At no point did you say that you had the Adam's apple bigger than mine. So we rolled up to the session now, came out, high heels. Like he couldn't even walk properly. He couldn't even walk properly in the high heels. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, you know what I mean? Because I'm a dude. Came into the session, opened the door, and if you see everyone's look, they looked at me like this. Everyone, it was like a Mexican wave. Like, zhup. Everyone's like, Davis. And I was just like, I just looked that I don't know how I looked, but I felt like, guys, I flopped. I was just so humble. Like all of my aura, you know, the young people, my aura went that day, man. My aura was gone. And I was just like, said to myself, Davis, let's get this out of the way. Done the introductions and everything else. Veronica done a presentation on this bad boy book. I'm not going to lie, this book is bad. Yeah, it's a really good book. Chapter 14, the principles of the application of common law. Yeah, it is imperative that you understand them. Chapter 7, honor, dishonor, and noticing. Yeah, you know, like when you get a penalty charge notice, for instance, and you don't, you receive it in your letterbox and you don't reply. Yeah, that's you, consenting. Yeah, I think it's called inferred consent. I can't remember what the name is, the actual name, but yeah, you're giving consent. Your silence is consent. If you're silent about something, family, you're giving your consent. So that's why you must vocalize. You must be loud. Use your voice. Wow. Yeah. Use your voice. But anyway, Veronica he done a powerful presentation on the day, took some question and answers, and then he left. I didn't even drop him to the station. I got him an Uber. I said, look, get in a cab. You're not Uber. I got a cab, go to the station. Thank you so much. And then that was it. Didn't take no pictures or anything like that. And after when he left, the young people cussed me. And I had to hold it. I had to take it on my chin, man. I said, guys, I'm so sorry. They cussed me. They made fun of the person. Not everyone, but some people did. Some people. Then we spoke about the trans movement. It wasn't a movement back then, but we spoke about people that are trans. And you know, it was a respectful conversation. But everyone felt the same. Davis, why didn't you know? I'm like, he didn't say. I didn't even think to ask. You know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah, so now when someone is invited to the sessions, I'm telling you, the due diligence, I'm going into their LinkedIn, their Instagram, like I'm scrolling to make sure that you are who you say you are. Yeah. But yeah, that was the most embarrassing moment ever. I just felt aura-less. It was horrible. It was deep. But I'm glad it happened. I'm glad because the young people, um, they they got to reason on a deep level, and even up to today, like I think it's like 20 years later. No, it's not 20 years because Mackay's 14. So maybe like say 10 years later, 12 years later, the young people today, they're adults now. They still 25, 28, 30. They still remember not so much the incident, that's a sidebar, but they remember their lessons and they remember the conversation and they're still applying it today. Yeah. So I'm so glad that happened. But yeah, being a youth worker, youth and community ambassador, um, activist, whatever title you want. I just love working with young people. I love working with adults as well, their families. I just want us to, I want us to evolve. Yeah. I want us to evolve out of the mess that we're in right now, just not knowing, not reading. It was beautiful seeing young people read who don't normally read, but they don't read because they don't want to read those stupid books. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, family, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my only embarrassing moment ever. There ain't no more. I'm actually thinking, is there anything else? Nah, that was it. I'm so glad it happened. Veronica was Veronica John. uh, um, he is entitled to dress however he wants to dress. Like, I don't care. It's not my business. What is my business though is you not telling me these things when I've disclosed exactly what the space is like. You know, that situation could have been terrible for you, John. It could have been. Yeah, some other characteristics were in that room at that time, and I did email you saying that it could have gone terribly, terribly wrong. So but I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it didn't, and I'm hoping that experience has taught us everything about transparency, doing your own due diligence, and then that's it, I guess, and that's it. Thank you for tuning in, Mag TV. Check out the other videos that I've posted here, and please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. You like that, yeah? Peace, man. Peace, peace, peace.